welcome to the In 90 Minutes podcast. Happy Monday. Happy happy Monday. That's about the only thing right now. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us as always. Thank you for watching and supporting the show. Um, thank you to all the gentlemen that are here with me today. We have the full house. We have Mr. David Valentin, John Wiedner, Misael Rosa, and Luke Manok. So, we have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot to unpack. We have a lot of opinions that are going to come out today. We'll try to keep it positive, but you guys know that we are here to tell it like it is, and we are good for that. So hang on tight, get a drink, refresh your drink, and hang on. It's going to be a doozy today. As always, thank you for watching the show. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe on our socials. And thank you for supporting the show. That's all, gentlemen. Uh, let's get right into it. Before we get into it, do we have any news around the league that we really want to talk about today? We usually try to do that ahead of time, but uh, is there anything we want to talk about? I honestly can't think of anything because we've just been focused on the topic at hand. So,
We already got some comments, so we can get them
oh, look at that.
out of the way real quick.
Yeah, sure. I'll bring some up.
Yeah,
Carlos is me, says, good evening from Louisville, Kentucky. He goes on to say, have to say, some ways this season is worse than 2018 because we didn't come into this year with high hopes, and somehow it's worse than we had thought. Hashtag defy expectations indeed. Carlos as me goes on to say, Poppy said he would leave if he couldn't coach the team anymore. If he would have done it in the offseason, might have had a shot to head an MLS team. But as it looks, he is probably USL or another country. Wow. Okay, we're getting right into this. We're jumping headfirst into the pool tonight, folks.
Yeah,
All right.
Carlos. Yeah.
David Hunt says, "Hey, David." Um,
What's happening, my
Fladoodler,
guy?
Fladoodler said, "Is it a happy Monday?" Listen, it was just an instinct. I'm sorry.
Listen, we should have put that song from the Mamas and the Papas. You know,
Yes. And Tour Rep One says, "Good to see you guys again." All right. So obviously, the match did not turn out the way we anticipated. Any of us? Actually, I'm not going to say that because if you asked me going into this match, I personally would have said for us to win, based on how we've been playing, for you to think that we were going to win, um, that's a pipe dream. If we had going in, I thought if we walked away with a draw, I would have considered that a win, honestly, and not because of the team we were playing, but because of how we were playing. It didn't matter who that team was for me. If we walked away with a draw this past Sunday, yesterday, I would have considered it a win. Um, at halftime, I thought I was smoking something. I thought I was high, or I don't know what I thought because I couldn't believe what was going on. But then the second half came, and whatever it is wore off because obviously we saw how that happened. So that's the short end of it. So let's open up the floor, gentlemen. Let's have it. Who wants to go first? Why don't we talk about the atmosphere first? The atmosphere at the stadium, before the actual match, how things were.
yeah,
I didn't sit in my normal seats. I had some friends because I did not want to sit in my normal seats because I knew I was going to be surrounded by just
well, I'll jump ahead if you guys allow me, since my
please go for
partner is quiet right now. I want to
it.
abuse of that opportunity. Well, first of all, I sat in section 3 in the south side. I was shocked at the fact going into the stadium that for the first time in ever going to Orlando City games, they were selling merch for an opposing player outside. Some Chinese knockoff crap, but regardless, got in and sat in a sea of Messi fans. Did I tone it down? No. Was I PG? No. Did I tell Messi what I thought about his mother? Yes. What I thought about him? Yes. What I thought about every single grown man wearing a Messi jersey? Yes. Did I almost get in a fight? You better believe it. But you know what? I never tone it down because true fans had to remind those glory hunters what time it is. Uh, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that it was unsustainable what we had, so I was like, I'm gonna talk all the trash I can while we're still ahead. Did not last long, but yeah, to be honest with you, it was a full house, electric atmosphere. A lot of people were upset at the fact that it was a mixed crowd, but it is what it is. As far as that, I think it was a successful night for the league. They got what they wanted. They got the show. They got the atmosphere. They got everything. But Orlando City didn't get the 3 points.
I mean, the atmosphere was, I know Luke and Messiah will have something to add because they both were on the wall. Was okay, but you know, 2 matches in a row now. There's been opposing uniforms in the wall, other teams, kits in the wall, and security just shrugs their shoulders. So Taylor Twellman can say all he wants about it. That to me, that picture that someone took after Messi scored says what you need to know about the state of the supporter section right now. The majority of the people were sitting there, looked happy he scored, were taking pictures with their phones and all that. And because right now, literally, I was told to be quiet by somebody while I was doing it right at the beginning of the match. The lady sitting in front of me told me to pipe down when I was chanting. You saw it, Luke.
At the wall?
In the wall, right in front of me. So can you be quiet? I'm like, I didn't even respond to
That's
her.
you know,
that's insane.
And
the thing. Go ahead, sorry.
it's just the fact that the security refuses to enforce the laws that are the rules that are put in place for the wall is ridiculous. If they want something to happen, fights and stuff, which that's what the majority of the Messi or a lot of the Messi fans were trying to do, especially once Miami got up, was pick fights with everybody. They're going to get it. The security in the wall is a joke. I do have to hand props to the guys outside that were trying the two guys that they had outside were trying to limit the amount of Miami jerseys that they were going in. Several people got their Miami jerseys taken away before they even entered. So I do have to give them props for that. But the fact that they're still letting people with Miami jerseys and Argentina jerseys and Bayern jerseys and AC Milan jerseys, Liverpool jerseys, Manchester United jerseys, Manchester United hats, all of the above in the wall, when it clearly states on our website and in the email you get beforehand, no away kits, no away jerseys. The only colors allowed are purple, white, black, and red. It's good. It's going to be over. And I'm sure a lot of people saw it. David having a conversation with Taylor Twellman on it. The fact of the matter is we're only at a small percentage of what we should be or what we were back in the day. If I were to say conservatively, very conservative, or at the most, not conservatively, at the most, 30% of the wall actually chants and is engaged in the game. Everybody's just there to have a good time and talk with their friends. And it's alarming, it's troublesome, it's knowing people that you know what people went through to get the wall where it was back when we got the stadium, and then where it is not even 10 years, or not even 10 years later. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And if I'm saying it now, if security isn't going to start enforcing it, I'll start enforcing it, because that's how it has to go.
The only thing I'll say, because I ended up at the wall with my son because I didn't want to sit at our normal seats, but we were more towards the middle. But the thing about those types of matches, unfortunately, now is those are the matches that draw more people to the wall than you see at any other match, and they're not the ones that are usually at the wall. Like I had people around me that I had never seen. Now, mind you, I hadn't been at the wall in a while, but these are people that I could tell were new to that area, right? And to John's point, it's like they're more interested in taking video for social media and doing stuff as opposed to actually being part of the wall. And I think that in itself it just complicates it more with a match like that, because of the hype, because of the type of event it is, it's more likely to draw the more casual supporter. And you know what? If they can get tickets in that section and they want to have a good time, that's where they go. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah, just my take on it. It was that picture that's been circulating online when Messi celebrated in front of the wall, which
Oh,
in, is the best thing that could have ever happened to us, I think, because it encapsulates in an image what the wall is about in 2026, right? 5 or 6 years ago, it would have been, people yelling at us, I don't condone Cupgate when it happened, but like we used to throw stuff on the pitch, we were that upset. Now apparently we're taking pictures of opposition players. That just show it's so nice. I know people hate it, but it's a great thing it happened because it publicizes what the supporters groups are doing in this moment. And there was to add about like that's my perspective on it is like, yeah, people hate the picture, blah blah blah, it's a bad look for us, but it's the best thing that could have happened to us because it shows like, well, this is what these supporters groups are doing because they're in their section. And you know another thing is that there was an incident, John, I remember the incident with you, of course, but there was an incident in the war where this guy had a Diego Maradona jersey on. Like, Diego Maradona. Why? Like, I'm like, come on, how has he been allowed to get into this section here in a Diego Maradona kit? Right? So I went up to the security guard, right? I said, I said it very seriously, but I said it in a meaningful way where I'm like, I was serious. I was like, mate, you've got about 5 minutes to call who you've got to call, or this guy's leaving in a stretcher in about 2 minutes. That's what I said to him. I said, you've got 5 minutes, right? So text who or call or contact who you want to call. This guy's going to leave in a stretcher in about 5 minutes if you don't get him out of there. And he saw like the fear. I saw the fear in his eyes. I turned back. He was gone in like 2 minutes.
yeah.
But that's what it's about, right? We were allowing these people with Diego Maradona kits. I'm like, he's like, yeah, but it's not Messi. I'm like, are you? I'm sorry.
You
It's
know
like
what?
that's,
Luke,
and
it's
this is
funny.
why people don't understand the culture, and the culture is not there because
Yeah.
you need, and the culture's growing, but the culture's only beginning. But there's culture and there's common sense. Like there's culture and there's common sense. And then there's also educating people on the culture. If you're not willing to get educated in the culture, you shouldn't be showing up. You shouldn't be. I'm sorry. Or at least you shouldn't be in the war.
I don't mean to jump in, Luke, but it's very critical what you just said is the respect of the culture. A couple of years back, my friend Steve was here from Stevenage, and Ahmed was kind enough to gift us 2 tickets on the wall, sold out game, as you
Oh, yeah.
guys know. And I remember telling Steve, I said, "Hey, you have to wear these colors. You can't," because he wanted to wear his Stevenage kid. I said, "Well, no, you can't because these are the rules." Blah blah blah. Just I figured he was gonna just show up with a white shirt. That man went out and bought
Jersey.
the away kit for last year, the one with the three lions. He's like, "Hey, I went down International Drive. I found a store and I bought bought the kit for $100. And the other day I saw he posted a picture on Facebook. He still wears it because I mean it's just a beautiful kit. But he understood if I'm invited to a club, I have to follow the rules. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, some people can't understand that.
It's like
But if they're not going to enforce it, why follow it?
yeah. It's like, why are you wearing a Diego Maradona shirt in the wall? Like, what goes through what goes through your head and says, yeah, that's a great idea. You know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to wear an Argentinian player's shirt in the wall, and this is going to go ground great, isn't it? And, these people shouldn't be in the game. just stay home. There's enough football for the rest of us. Stay home,
The reality
please.
is a lot of people were going for the wall because it's the cheapest ticket in the stadium,
Yeah.
and the club needs to do a better job at policing that area. Um, Personally, and I'm sorry, Miss Hal, because I'm cutting you
That's
off. But
okay. That's
um,
okay.
the picture that was taken to me, because I had this conversation with Taylor Twelman real quick. Very simple conversation. It was a back and forth on Twitter where he said, as good as it gets when it comes to rivalry. Orlando City fans were fantastic. Capital letters once again supported their team in good and bad moments. And my reaction to that was tired of playing the level of losers for the TV cameras. Maybe one day our devotion can be rewarded. Maybe. And he said, "You aren't losers to me. I would have loved to play in front of you guys." And of course somebody was like, I think hearing reports of trash being thrown, so better from OCSC fans. I was like, nerd. But I'm sorry, that's a reality. We can't play for the camera to make the atmosphere. I guarantee you that MLS this week is gonna be running with this crap all over the place. And then the villain of the week, a man named Sasha Kleshton, a guy that was commanded this club, captained this club in its darkest hours, says, "Ding, ding, ding, ding." The post had zero to do with Orlando. I was bantering, my friend, but Orlando City fans need to get their frustrations out somewhere. And your boy David said, trust me, when you played here, we all went home and kicked our dogs every night. You presided over one of the worst eras of the club. And who can forget you fighting on the pitch with your teammates? Classic. So there, I just wanted to get that out of my system because we are not background players. We're not background actors for your BS MLS. Um, we love our club. And like I told all them 200 grown men wearing another man's name on the back of the jersey, um, when he's gone, you're gonna be gone, and I'm gonna be here. Why? Because we support the club, we support the batch, we support the colors, not a man. Go ahead, Misael.
Um, so heading in, as soon as I was walking up to the stadium, I saw it, packed, lines were long. I got excited because I like to see a packed house. And I do like to see the opposing team's fans there because it just makes it fun, the banter back and forth. So when I seen a lot of, Miami jerseys, of course, I got excited because I'm like, okay, here we go. We're gonna have a good night here of going back and forth. As far as the wall, I'm on the left side of the wall. Um, I think it's hard to keep people out of there that are, I guess, casuals. For one, you need the casual fan to fill the place. Number two, you don't know how many people walk by there, like on the steps, and I can hear them out loud, or they'll either look at me and even say it out loud, like, I don't know where my seat is. And I have to tell them like it's just general admission, like you can stand wherever you want. So to me, if you're asking, you don't even know where your seat is, that tells me that those people that wear other
Mhm.
jerseys, they don't know. They just don't know. Like they're really out of touch. Like they just don't know that in the wall, in the supporter section, in any stadium in the world, you can't do that. I just think a lot of them seriously, they just don't know that. And the security guards, dude, I mean, as you guys as well, we've been going there for years. Those security guards change every single day. And I'm sure a lot of them don't know nothing about football, so they see like you said, a Maradona jersey. They probably don't know that just because it doesn't say Messi in the back, they don't know what he's trying to do. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't know
Got
that.
a full off
They're
season.
trying to protect. Say it again.
They have a full off season. I know some of the security guards come and go and such, but a lot of the same people year after year you see as running security for the club. The contracted security. To generally see the same people, and it's like the guy that's been there the longest that everybody would recognize that's on the side Luke and I stand on knows who I'm talking knows who if I were to explain him knows who I would be talking about. Um, that he's one of the worst ones. Now, yes, I saw him doing his job yesterday, but he wasn't doing his job the week before. He told one of my buddies it's not a big deal
I
that
didn't
there
see
was
it.
where he was. You may have not been able to, but he was where the tunnel comes out, that railing.
Yeah, I didn't
He
see
was
it.
sitting right there doing stuff. Um, but to me, and we'll go over this more on extra time that we record after the show because this is obviously only a fraction of what we have to talk about tonight. But and we also have a guest. We have Ruckus Johnny on as well tonight that'll record and be released on Wednesday. Um, so we'll be able to dive in more than that because he lives and breathes with the wall. Um, but to me, it's just a result of what the supporter groups have become, what their agenda is pushing. I mean, we get done with the match, and one of a prominent individual within the ruckus is sitting there giving people high fives. Like you've got to be. Why are we? Why is the prominent figure in the supporter group standing there trying to give people high fives as they're passing through? Like you got to be serious. And honestly, it's when you see that, and then you see after the match the people posting, and I haven't seen a photo of it. If anybody has a photo, please do send it to me, Carlos. It's literally what I was getting to. Um, if anybody has a photo, please send it to me or the show so we can post it. But the Wilts allegedly were taking selfies with Messi, our owners. Like, give me a break, guys. Like, this is our rival. You're doing this with.
Also,
This
can we
isn't
go
the
to the
NFL.
question? Can we go
This
to
isn't
the
the
big
Major
above?
League Baseball. Like, what are we doing? Sell the damn team already, guys. You guys obviously don't care. You just think we're here to line your pockets with millions of dollars every year. Sell the damn team. Get somebody in here that knows what they're doing and understands the culture of the sport. I'm sick of it. I am so happy, just like Jimmy, so happy I didn't renew and waste my money on season tickets. I'm about ready just to not pay my half season tickets because I'm so sick of it. It's ridiculous. This club, these owners and this front office are so unserious. Ricardo, I love what you're trying to do, but unfortunately, if you don't have the backing of the people ahead of you, you're not going to be able to get it done. The fact Poppy wasn't let go in the offseason, I think Ricardo wanted to let him go in the offseason, and he wasn't, was because Ricardo was told they didn't want to pay Poppy's buyout. That's the only reason I think Poppy wasn't let go in the offseason. Because
Can we talk about that, John?
we have one win in 12 matches. One win. Sorry,
John,
go ahead.
no, no, no. I didn't mean to interrupt you, my brother. But let's talk about that for a minute. Why did Luis Musi re-sign the guy for a 3-year contract when he knew that he wasn't going to stick around? And to me, is sabotaging what Ricardo's trying to do. I would love to bring our record here for a second because somebody on Twitter posted it, or X, I'm sorry, and I would love to give this person credit. Uh, by the way, a moment of silence for the 1,034 seats that we lost in favor of
One
priority
cocktail
seating
brigade.
at the stadium. But the reality, my friends. Oh, by the way, this is from at Smoky Flares on X, who posted something that I 1,000% agree. Pareja is 1-3-8 in his last 11 games with Orlando. Guys, by the way, the in 19 matches across all competitions against Inter Miami, Orlando has won 7, they have won 7, we have tied 5. So the reality is that it's all even. Nobody owns anybody. Of course, to the victor the spoils. They just got, after 8 tries, they got their victory. But to me, it seems like you don't mind the field of somebody that is coming in and shackling him to a manager that this ownership did not selected, and that this current GM did not selected. And we said it on the show. We lose the first 2 games. He has to go because this is not just recent. This is from last season, and we have seen a constant decline in his performance. And I'll finish with this because I don't, obviously there's five of us. Everybody needs to turn. If you buy a car in 2020, okay, it's gonna be brand new. What's gonna happen each year that passes? The technology is gonna progress. The car there's gonna be remodel, whatever. Eventually, that car is gonna look old. Our competition, the managers, the players in the league have progressed to the point where we are still stuck in 2020. It's time to go. Thank the man and wish him well and move forward. We listen, just like our good friend Jim, which by the way, Jim, correct me on the comments. Jim has been was a season ticket holder since 2015, probably beyond that, before that. So he's no longer our friend JJ from Orlando Lions. Then cancel his stuff. There's a lot of good people that we know that are no longer season ticket holders. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. After what I saw yesterday, they may lose me as well. We have to play to win games, and we have to play to be entertaining and fun. We were up 2-0 and we laid an egg. Why?
You think Muzi gave him a 3-year contract because they're buddies, and it's like, even if you get canned in a year or two, I'm going to make sure you get paid, because like they do this in the NFL where they have incentives and the quarterback will go out of his way to give a guy extra passes and yards because they get incentives. So it could have been one of those deals where, like, even if you get fired, they have to pay you. I don't know. That's just
Misael,
Yep,
I
one.
think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. This is it, right? And it seeps through the culture of this club where people can't separate friendships and the personal relationships with football, right? People are like, it goes with the fans as well. Sometimes people are like, oh, like giving them nicknames and the players nicknames, and it's like, I don't care what you do. You're a player of this football club. You gotta go. If you're terrible, you're awful, you'll go. I don't care who you are. I don't care if if Cristiano Ronaldo walked in the building and he started playing crap, right, and stealing a living off of us, I'd be even more furious. It's like, it's more for the big guys than it is for the little guys, right? And it's the same for the front office. It's like, if you're buddy, I'm not going to sack you. You know, separate your personal relationship with your professional relationship. He's not performing in the professional relationship, thus he doesn't deserve the professional job. Overdone, whatever. I don't care if he's your best man at your wedding. You
when
know,
it,
he's
when it
got to
comes to
go.
fans,
You've
when it
nailed
comes
it.
to in that part, when it comes to the fans, it's a little bit of the Orlando culture because they do that with the Orlando Magic, where they fall in love with the players, and when people talk bad about them or they say they have to go, they get all upset. And the Orlando Magic, and I'm a diehard Magic fan, but we haven't won crap. So it's like, why do you want to keep continuing to keep these players that are no good? We got to move on. It's just, that's when it comes to fans, it's part of the Orlando culture. That's just
Yeah,
The
what
last
it
time
is.
the
like
Magic were any good, my youngest son was a baby, and he's a sophomore in high school. That tells you everything you need to know.
2009, a long time
Some
ago.
more comments, guys, before we move on, because they are piling up.
Okay.
Right. Ray, my dad, said, I thought motioning for a card was a card for you yesterday. The ref immediately gave the card that was being asked for.
good point.
Jimmy says, guys, this roster is not built to compete, and our tactics are not constructed to win. I don't think Griezmann can save us. I saw some dude changing into or out of a Messi jersey in the restroom behind the wall. He was at the sink. This was pre-match. Um, that's one thing, because like if they see you in the wall, they'll give you a free shirt to put on.
That's another point I wanted to mention just a little bit briefly, probably like 30 seconds. Is it's like they give like a Miami fan or a Messi fan a shirt, and I'm like, mate, just because you whack a shirt on somebody doesn't mean they stop supporting the club that they support. They came here with the intention to support this person. You whack a shirt on them doesn't mean they stop.
Yeah,
The
kick
reason
them
why
out.
you saw people with Orlando City collars or
Exactly,
jerseys,
you're right.
yeah,
It's like
come on.
what's the point? And I'm like, that's the problem that causes fights. That is what causes fights. That's what causes mischief, and that's what get people banned in the stadium that actually show up to games on a day-to-day basis. That is the biggest call out. If somebody is watching this from the club, stop that now. Stop it. It has to stop now. That you have to stop giving shit. I don't care about ticket sales. You can move them to another section. You can kick them out of the stadium. I don't care. Do not do that. That is what's killing football. That kills football. That kills the game. That kills support for people like on this show. That kills for the people that's watching this show, people that actually show up to games. It's so wrong. It's what is ridiculous about this.
Question to you guys, because I had this conversation with a New York City fan on Twitter or X. Is it time for MLS to have away sections?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's absolutely time. I think it has to. I think it has to happen.
What do you mean away section?
I think-
We have an away section.
No,
No,
apparently,
where if you have an away kit on or an away shirt on, even if you have a ticket for another part of the stadium, you're instantly put in that
Yeah.
section.
Oh, okay.
it's
okay.
illegal. It's in England. It
Okay.
is illegal. Like it is not allowed. And this is where I'm saying it is. You are in England, well, specifically in Blackpool, but I know in every English club you have an account with the club where you put your mailing address, and your mailing address is significant to where you buy the ticket from. So if you're not in the mailing address in the region of where you're buying the ticket from, I know it's a bit different in the Premier League, but for smaller clubs like Blackpool, I know Northampton because my mate's from Northampton. If you're not from that regional district, you can't buy a ticket for that club. You can't buy a home ticket. You have to buy it for another person or a
They,
friend.
they do that here in American sports sometimes. It depends on
But-
what game or whatever it is. They don't do it all the time, but they do that here sometimes.
Like when I went to Blackpool, right, and I have bought a ticket before, but obviously I don't have a home in Blackpool anymore. And I tried to buy a ticket, and they said I can't buy a ticket because I don't have an address in England anymore.
So there's no aftermarket over there, like StubHub.
No, there's no
GameStop?
aftermarkets.
So that's the problem here, that you can't really stop it because
Yeah,
okay,
there's no
I
Yeah,
don't buy
EFL, the EFL still has paper tickets.
Yeah,
You
and we
got-
there's
Exactly
no
what I
things.
said. What I said is they just need to make it where if you're wearing an opposing jersey or opposing shirt, you get escorted to that other section.
Yeah.
Because here it's too hard to like limit who buys where and such. I mean, we even saw it for the a couple years ago. I know that there was I think it was the first time Miami Messi was supposed to play here. They tried to limit it by zip code, who could buy and where you could buy and stuff.
Mhm.
And it still, didn't matter. So to me, it just needs to be, they need to make the
Club
the
account.
section that's already our away section, and then the other one that's our away section. If you
Well,
wear
they just-
opposing,
Or they
I
just
don't
follow
think-
the old-fashioned English model where they create accounts for people that are, because everyone, if they're committed to go to the games as much, they create a free account to get tickets for whatever, and you put your
the aftermarket makes it too hard, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
the
I know, but the
aftermarket here, you
aftermarket
can't do
shouldn't
that, yeah.
exist.
Yeah. Hey guys,
Really?
we have some more comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Carlos says Ricardo did not give the players Poppy wanted because he's forcing them out. I agree with that. Jimmy says, I'm glad I did not renew my season tickets. If the club does not take their product seriously, why should I? Eddie says, guy sitting next to me at the game, I asked him if he was a Messi or Miami fan. He said Messi, and once he retires, won't follow Miami. Wild, that's probably the majority of them. Yep, we're going to talk about that as well on Extra Time. Carlos asked if it was true the Wilts were trying to take pictures with Messi pregame. Jimmy says, one last thing, we can look forward to being on the wrong end of highlight reels all season long. Drives me insane. Eddie continues, 2 weeks in, and the guys who are MLS players of the week are the ones that played against us. Under Willie says, last night the most embarrassing I've ever felt in my years going to the stadium. We had Messi fanboys in front of us, taunting us after Messi scored and treating OC fans like crap. Yeah, we'll go over more of that in Extra Time. There's a lot of stuff tonight to get to in the main show that I wish we could cover. That's why we brought in extra. That's why we started doing extra time, was to get to the extra stuff, if you will. And then Tour Rep One says, "Well, let's get or have a good player and not build around them. Let's sell them so we can get some money." Seems to be the modus operandi. And then Jonathan uh, Ridner says, "What is David with a green screen the whole time?"
Yeah, and then we have a couple of comments on Instagram too. Fried Oreo says, if we bring in a new coach, we'll start to win, and packing the stadium equals money. Aiden Taylor says the free shirts are horrible quality too. No reason to be giving them out. And then Aiden Taylor says again, we must have a dedicated away sections.
I would like to address our friend Jonathan here for a minute. The background that you see, Jonathan, dude, you won't believe this. I was house hunting with my wife years ago, and we walked in with our real estate agent, and the whole living room and dining room was decorated in Orlando City. I was devastated that when we made an offer, the guy refused to leave all the Orlando City stuff behind. But I took pictures with my kids, so that's actually a picture of a house somewhere in Orange County back 6 or 7 years ago. So there you go.
Nice, nice. All right. So moving on
Moving on.
to the main event, if you will. So last week after our opening match, which was not too much better than this one, right? Um, we all were of the opinion that we should give the younger crew an opportunity. And I tell you, I believe a lot of people listen to what we say, because this time we came out, and not the same players, but we had a bunch of them. Uh, Nolan Miller, Tahir Reed Brown, Colin Gusky. Um, it was nice to see them out there, and I think, as we'll talk about it, I think everybody will agree that they had excellent performances. But this is what we say. I mean, because honestly, that's probably one of the things that, if you see what people are talking about, was how good their performances are. It overshadows the fact of the outcome, which we all know, whatever that was. It is what it is, right? But that's something positive to me out of this whole thing, is the performance of those players that we've been saying day in, day out. You have these people signed, give them a chance,
Yeah.
right? So my hats off to whoever decided to do that. l- just a little bit. Don't get too excited, but that's the kind of stuff we want to see, because that was a good performance against most other teams. Without the stacking of the talent that they have, that could have been a different outcome, right? And I'm not saying it's because you know it is what it is. So
Yeah, I mean, Gusky, to me, Gusky two matches. Gusky's played himself into the starting role, even when Cartagena comes back. I mean, the dude's shown the last two. I mean, he was the best player on the pitch against New York, and then yesterday, unfortunately, he doesn't have it around him, but he showed that he has the skill, and the IQ to play at this level, to be successful at this level. That little flick he gave to Ojeda in open space on the second goal was a thing of beauty.
mhm.
That was that was beautiful. There's no other way to
Oh,
put
what I
it.
was going to say. I was going to say the same thing. I had it
Sorry,
so
man.
prepared. I was like, Gusky played unreal.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
We have a
you
comment on
know,
Instagram about that, though. Let me just put it
yeah,
out there. It's Aiden Taylor again. He says, "I said this on the Facebook group last night, where the lack of experience for our new signings and B team players really killed us in the second half. It's tough that they were literally our only options, and that our owners haven't at least brought in someone on loan for defense."
On depth.
Just putting it out there, just so
yeah.
we know
I
where we
mean,
stand.
we need as good as as good as Tahir was yesterday.
Hmm.
He showed his weaknesses. He showed why, the worries I had. But and kind of to that comment that he just made, that we just got on Instagram. Um, does anybody here think that Marin would have done any better?
Nah.
I don't.
Nah.
You know,
He's as one-dimensional as a stick figure. He can't do nothing. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad he gave Reed Brown a game out. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think going forward, Reed Brown's going to be the option at left. It'll be exciting when they let him release forward a little bit more, because he does have that speed to get back. I mean, he's very fast. Probably the fastest left back we've had since Moutinho, honestly. But good to see in a Nolan Miller. I hope the injury, the knock, whatever it was that he had to come out for, isn't too serious, because he had a great game going. Really exciting to see the young guys get going.
I loved Gusky. He was fantastic, I think.
Yeah.
To go into a game of that magnitude in that meaning at that time, that early on in the season, with not a lot of experience. Well, I don't think it was any experience, was it? Was that his debut?
Who? Reed?
Gusky.
Starting, yes. Starting wise.
Starting, yes. It was
his starting debut. To get stuck into that team, and he was just throwing himself about, putting him in difficult situations.
Yeah.
All credit to him,
But it shows kind of to what my dad was saying. Gusky was really one of the only young guys last year that got an okay amount of playing time on the senior team. So he already had that experience to draw from, kind of knowing what to expect, when his time was called last week. Yeah. Reed Brown hasn't had significant first team minutes.
No.
Yep.
And obviously Nolan Miller just got into the club with being drafted, so you can't really say anything about him. But we had a player on OCB that should have been given time. This is why last year and years past we've been calling for the young guys to get more experience during the season, because when stuff like this happens, you're kind of at a crossroads. You want to bring in new players and kind of block the younger guys from playing, because honestly, to get a player like Gusky is kind of difficult. To just salary cap rules and everything. That's but he's a homegrown player, so he doesn't go towards his salary doesn't go towards the cap. And when you have somebody like Reed Brown that you have to basically start by default, and he gets thrown into the fire, he doesn't. It's a huge adjustment period for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, given the circumstances, he played about as good as you could have hoped anybody in his situation could have played.
I love the comment that just popped up. I don't know if you want to read it or not, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
that made me giggle. Because what in the world was with Pereira's subs last night? Did ChatGPT come up with them? I think so. I'm going to be honest with you. But this is the thing, right? Is that Oscar Pereira got exposed last night big time for what he always has been doing, right? Negative style of play over and over and over again. So you're running for the game, right? You're down. Okay? What do? Bring on a centre-back,
Well, he had to.
It's a centre-back for a centre-back, and I was about to go into that. It's a centre-back for a centre-back, but at the same time, I'm like, bring on somebody, you're losing, And then, Spicer, good sub, a defensive midfield player with 10 minutes to go. With Atuesta. Why? And then you bring on, a striker with 10 minutes to go, with Thiago. What we doing? I agree with that. What was the
a hold up?
Yeah, I don't know what the hold up was.
Honestly, I would have liked to see the subs coming out of the half.
Yeah.
Why wait?
Why?
Because we thought we were on fire. I mean, give me a break. Let's be honest.
I just wanted
to. And anybody that says we played a good first half, I'm sorry. You look at the stats and you rewatch the match. We didn't. We actually, the funny thing is, expected goals wise, we played better in the second half than we did the first half.
Isn't that crazy?
Sylvetti's
Expected goals in
good.
the first half, Miami had 1.4, and they had 8 total shots. In the second half, they had expected goals of 0.42 with 7 total shots.
Pareja
You
was
know,
interviewed for the Spanish broadcast of the game, and I gotta tell you, he looked rattled. He looked like a man that had a noose around his neck and was just waiting for the trapdoor to fall. Um, I think he knows. I think he knows the end is near. He doesn't know when and where, but you cannot have cohesion when you have a man that really knows that the end is near. And I gotta be honest with you, if Griezmann is coming, he's not coming to play for Oscar Pareja.
No.
You don't make that investment. You don't bring a F what is it, a F1 car to give joy rides in the mall. You don't do that. So the reality is that if we are going to be making that type of investment, there has to be a change at management. And like we have said many times, I when we used to in this show or personally, we used to say, "Hey, I think it's time for changes." We were attacked by hundreds of people. You say that now, people are like, "Well, you might got a point there." So the attitude has changed, and I think people are finally seeing that if we are to win, we have to make the difficult decisions. Look, Miami got rid of Tata Martino. Tata Martino, MLS Cup champion. And where's Tata Martino? I believe Atlanta has lost their first two games, if I'm not mistaken.
yep.
Yeah.
So guess what? That decision was a correct one. And they went on, and you can say that all their trophies have been gifted, blah 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 blah. But the reality is they win because they have a good team because the players are talented. We're not gonna take that away from them. And they have a manager that made the changes in the half. I know some people on Facebook were saying, "Oh no, he only substituted one player." Whatever he did worked because in the first half we got lucky, and then he made adjustments, and boom, let me say that again: four unanswered goals at home for a team that was playing in Bayamon, Puerto Rico on Thursday in the heat of the islands. Come on now.
We were 2-0 up at the half. That I wouldn't say I would say that, but we were 2-0 up at home. Like 2-0 up at home for anybody should be, oh, they've sealed the game. You know, let's just dust it up, play properly and, put this game up to bed. Not
And
for us.
we didn't. I mean, you look at the heat maps. Foot Mob started doing heat maps now, which I love. And you look at our heat maps. Our number 10, his main hotspot was our defensive side of midfield. Our striker was right at midfield. Our right winger was right around midfield. Our left winger was back even with our 18 box. The heat maps don't lie about what the issue was. I mean, the fact that we came out and Luke said in the second half, and Luke said, "I hope we don't drop back too much." And literally 2 minutes into not even 2 minutes, I don't even think it was a minute into the half, and I said, "Well, we're too deep. This is going to be fun."
Yeah.
Because we instantly dropped back, and our when they had the ball passing it around midfield, our back line was basically at the 18. And people will go, well, they have to defend that because you don't want to give any runs. But that's true, but they also can't go behind your back line and just camp there without being offside. So if your back line's disciplined, they get caught offside a lot, and it doesn't give them the space to just knock it around the midfield like they did for 65% of the time in the second half on Saturday.
I
You
said this.
have to play a higher line, and if you can't
Mhm.
play a higher line, then you need to get new defenders. As much as I like Brecalo, if you don't trust him to play a high line, get somebody else in here.
Yeah.
I said to somebody, John knows who it is. I said to him before the game, he asked me like, "What do you think is going to happen?" I said, "Oh, this is a game of two halves," and he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, just watch.
Yeah.
Goes out first half, and then look what happens in the second. It was exactly how I called it. It was a game of two halves.
But you know what the scary part about that is that with all the changes,
We're
it's
still
the same
competitive.
thing we do.
Yeah.
There's one common
You know,
denominator.
John, you're getting ahead of me. No, I'm just
Sorry, I'm fired up tonight.
no, I know it.
It was only 24 hours ago. I was
I know.
more mad than I've been in a very long time.
I know. I have a couple more comments from Instagram. Aiden says, Dorsey's already been a fan favorite for me, even though he's still adjusting to our system. I love his energy and the chances he created the first half, as well as when he pumped up the wall. Then he goes on to say, yes, Pareja's subs have always been an eyesore. He always brings them on way too late. And then Armando says, what are we thinking about Greisman? We're going to play out him coming here. And then Aiden says, Duncan's been playing all bark, no bite from his preseason interview. I'm done with him. I've always thought as a 1 year wonder. Real ones would know that Miami could have scored way more if it wasn't for the good saves Crepeau had in the first half. He did an amazing job. I don't think we've spoken enough about him. You know, we always glance over those unless we were on the on the negative end. It would
No,
have been
Crepeau's been.
total Crepeau, yeah. It would have
Crepeau's
been
been
a much different story had it not
Listen,
been
guys,
for that gentleman.
if we have 10 points or less by the end of April, we're done. We're not coming out of that. Statistically, we're not coming out of that. And I know John have brought it up many times that Orlando City
How many
broke the
points do
mold.
we have now?
What's that?
How many points do we have now?
0 out of 6.
Oh, okay. Just
So
making sure, just in
so
case somebody's
so by
wondering.
the end of April, if we had 10 points or less, there's no way we're getting out of that one.
Let's
So
see what those
I
matches.
just want to let you guys know how far do we have to go with Oscar on a negative run? Because right now he has a worse record than James O'Connor when he took over in July of 2018. But for those that forgot, or those that probably got electro shocking therapy to forget, um, we won 2 games, 2 games on the James O'Connor, the pride of Ireland, 2 games in 2018. We won 2 games, and Oscar has won 1 game in 12. And when JOC took over, he maybe had 15, 16 games under his belt. So you're telling me that that Oscar Pareja, the best manager that we ever had, I'm not throwing mud at his legacy. The best manager that we had right now in the last 12 games has reverted to the worst manager we ever had. So with that said, losing is contagious, and losing will take over an organization and grow roots, and it's very hard to eliminate. I believe deep in my heart, and I'm gonna quote that Argentinian family that sat next to me on the first game. The players, the team does not deserve the fans that we have. If Taylor Twellman is out there saying, "You guys bring it," and you know Taylor Twellman, he's not the one to throw praises at anyone. He has crapped on us at every opportunity that he ever had. The fact is that you have two forces at work here. You have the terraces. We own the terraces. We bring the passion. We bring the love for the club, the love for the colors. But on the pitch, we are having negativity and poor results. Something eventually has to give, because you know the stronger force will go through the path of least resistance. That's how it is. That's how it works. Water, electricity, the path of least resistance. So something's gotta give. We end up with an empty stadium, or we end up with a team that is gonna win so much silverware, we're gonna run out of that crap that they used to polish silverware, the no gold, whatever it is. So the fact is, my friends, is when are the Wolves gonna realize? And by the way, I know they took the pictures with me, tasteless. You own the stadium, Will family. You could have done that in the s- in the in by the locker rooms. You could have done
No,
that. You
there
could
were
have
so
taken
many opportunities they could have had to
pictures in the offices, whatever that you
do a
wanted.
press, like do it in a press conference or do it somewhere else. Just
Exactly. You own the building. You don't have to take them pitch side. Are you out of your mind? I'm
yeah.
sorry. And you know what? I have defended the Wolves, and you guys know that I'm open book. I have defended the Wolves because ethnicity and religion ties me to them, and a awful thing that happened 80 years ago happened to my father-in-law's family. May his memory be a blessing. And so I see them with admiration of what that family was able to do, where they were able to come from. But at some point, I have to say, wake the f up. This is football. You are not part of your portfolio. To me, Orlando City is much more than a game. It's just our club. It's what it's my identity, man. If you see my phone, our badge is my lock screen. Not even my family. Okay, my house key is an Orlando City house key. My my tag is an Orlando City tag in my car. When are the Wolves gonna wake up and say, if we are going to, like, to quote my good friend Kenneth Ortiz, who was my co-host Tiro de Esquina for 4.5 years? He always used to say, if a player gets themselves in a dangerous position and asks for the ball, you gotta finish. Wolves, you wanted this. Nobody put a gun on your head to buy this team. Okay, so if you are here now, we gotta go all the way. You did it with the pride. What's stopping you now? I can't believe that you had pictures with a man that clowned your fans, clowned your players, clowned your city, pooped all over your stadium, and you are the laughing stock of the universe right now. You allowed that to happen because you kept Oscar Pareja way after his expiration date. You have been penny pinching, and come on out. The stereotypes come out. I have heard them. They've been thrown around. So how about you do a solid for the tribe for once, Mark? Why don't you do one solid for the tribe? Now that we're celebrating Purim tonight, tonight's the first night of Purim. How about you decide, if I die, I die, like Queen Esther said in the book of Esther, by the way. If I die, I die. Why don't we apply that tonight, and we go out there and win us a freaking game and win us a freaking trophy? Why don't we do that? You do that, my friend, because I met you, I spoke with you, we took a picture, I got it. Why don't we go and do what the fans want? Plain and simple.
I just can't wait. I don't know if it went through or not, but I can't wait for them to try to do the same thing with the Brazilian club that they were trying to buy and see how that turns out.
Bloodbath.
Do that in Brazil.
Did they buy
So
that team?
I don't know. I don't know if it went through or not.
I never follow that.
It's not Orlando City, so I don't care.
They won't be
You
allowed
know,
to do it.
no, they wouldn't be allowed to. They wouldn't be able to walk into that city if they let the team fall off the way this team's fallen off the last the last two seasons.
gentlemen, we have so far two losses, right? And I think this is our worst start to date in a season.
Yep.
By to David's point, by April, we will have a total of 10 matches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 matches. Okay. And I'm going to tell you who we're playing and where. And I want to get your thoughts on something. So, our next match, March 7th, we're going away to NYCFC. After that, we come back home to host Montreal. Then we go on the road. We see Nashville, then LAFC, and then Columbus Crew. Then we come back home and play Houston Dynamo and Charlotte. And then the last one in April, we go away to DC United. So that's a total of 10 matches, counting the two that we have right now. How many of those do you think will be wins? Not how many points we're going to have, right? So we have 8 more matches. How many wins do you guys think in there?
None.
Possibly one against Montreal.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I say one. Yeah.
I say none.
I think through April, total points. I mean,
Well, let's just say wins for now. So
Wins, I think possibly one.
yeah,
Possibly
I'm
one
gonna go
by
on a limb and say two, just
Montreal
by
is
some random stroke of
playing
luck.
one of the few clubs playing worse soccer than we're playing.
None.
Yeah, I'm gonna go say two because I'm thinking Montreal and maybe one other one somewhere by some random stroke of luck. I don't know.
Okay, then I'm saying none, right? But all of you are wrong, and we're not going to win the Montreal game. I think we'll win one of the
Oh, you
away.
could be absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because
I feel
Montreal
like
would be a
at the
mistake.
moment in this time, we are more likely to win away games than we are at home games.
yeah,
I'm
I
more
believe you.
excited to see us away from home than we are at home
Yep,
because
and
the
we're
way
more
we
likely
play
to win
suits more
games
away from home than at home.
and
So
more likely to win games that we're not expecting to because the
this
games
is
we
a
expect
shout.
to.
How
Yeah.
about we do this? I
Okay.
think by June, or sorry, let's just say mid May, we will have won more away games than home games.
Well, that's another one. Okay. So, David, did you see what we said? By April, how many wins do you think there's going to be by the end of April? There's going to be 10 matches played.
Yeah, our good friend Mike from Orlando Lions then posted all the games that we have.
Yeah.
Um, I think Montreal may be a point at worst, 3 points
Okay.
at best. The rest of the games, I just don't see us winning. Definitely, New York City is gonna be a loss.
Yeah. Luke said none. Misael said one. John said one, I think.
One, possibly one.
Yeah. I'm the psycho, and I said two.
Oh,
I don't know what two, but I was saying two. What the heck?
so
We'll
besides Montreal, who?
I don't know,
Nashville?
man.
No
I
way.
don't know. Nothing would surprise
Columbus? No
me.
way.
Nothing would
And
surprise
our
me against Montreal.
tradition of being a charity FC, we may if when we play Montreal, we probably they're gonna be team of the week. All
Yeah,
of them,
Yeah,
all
we,
11
we, we always
starters
we
are
always
probably gonna be
struggle
team of the
against
week.
Montreal. We always struggle against Montreal.
we make crap teams look good.
We're very giving in that sense. So, David, how many games did you think we'd win or not?
I
None.
I think none of those games are winnable at the time at this moment.
Yeah.
I think Montreal, like I said, Montreal is doubtful. We may end up with a nil-nil result on that one, or like I say, it could be a win because Montreal are complete and utter dog crab vomit right now. They're really, and it bothers me that DDT's in that mess, but it is what it is. Um, and aside from Montreal, 'cause you gotta look at who's below us on the table. As of right now, we're a point away from if the season was to end tomorrow, we would have finished like a point away from the plane. Basically, we are exactly where we finished. We're like a step below, and so let's see who's below us on the table right now. I got the standings right now. So below
Toronto.
us is Columbus, Charlotte. These are shocking names. Columbus. No,
Columbus is ahead of us.
no.
No.
Toronto,
Below us, you're
Toronto,
saying.
New
Below us, right?
England, Atlanta, and Montreal are worse than us. Toronto was dog crap last year. They still managed to beat us when it counted. New England, they have been on free fall for a long time. Atlanta, I'm shocked to see them there. And Montreal, there's nobody worse than us. Philadelphia has 0 points, but they goal differential is the factor here. And Charlotte and Columbus have a point. Everybody else has three. I can't believe Chicago's fourth. Unbelievable. And what is shocking to me, to all
What?
those people like, oh, if we go get another manager, things may be worse. Look at Red Bulls with a first time Michael Bradley at the helm, with playing teenagers, guys, playing teenagers.
Well,
Six
that was
points,
the
first place.
I was gonna bring that up earlier. That at least last night's loss was not to high school kids.
Yes.
At least it
Yeah.
was to the champs, not kids in high school.
So now, Luke, you had said something else, right? About by the end of June?
Yeah. So, I forgot what I was going to say. Let me see.
By the end of June, you said it. By the end of June, we're going to have more away wins than home wins.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I
That
believe that. I would go with
yeah,
that.
by the end of June.
That's
Or
because we're gonna have a star player and a new coach by then.
we're gonna have more away wins than home wins because that's the way
You're,
we're built to play. You know, if
Yeah.
people are hey, Orlando City, good marketing here. Away season tickets, right? I'd buy them. I'd buy them tomorrow.
I'm assuming everybody on the show agrees with Luke, right? Because I do too. Because I'm thinking what we'll do is we can put these two things up as polls for for the fans to really get a feel for the, because I think those are two really good pulse checks. So I'll be posting them soon when we get a chance, and we'll look at them next Monday.
for sure.
It's a
Cool.
win-win because they could prove
Well,
me wrong, and next
we're
thing,
not going to win. I know we're. I mean, it's almost a certain we're not going to win on Saturday because we always play terrible at the mini
How
pitch.
ironic would that be?
Listen, with our best, we have failed to win. The last time we won, you guys want to know the last time we won? Last time we won was in 2016 with a solo goal by no other than Adrian Venter. It has been 10 years since the last time we tasted victory up in New York. Best we have done are ties. Every time we have gone there, we have lost practically three or more goals.
That's crazy.
is that
That's
true?
insane. It is insane.
I'm just looking at
No,
the old games. I
And,
can only
and
go back
enjoy
to
it because the supposedly I think it's like next year that they inaugurate the new stadium that is going to be basically the size of ours. Good for them. It's good for football and for the league that we finally put this horrible episode behind us. But at the same time, New York City, and by the way, if you go on our YouTube channel, I created a video 7 or 8 years ago about this. The pitch, so you have an idea, is 10 yards shorter and 5 yards narrower than our pitch. Our pitch is 75 yards, 120 yards long, 75 wide, and it's basically average. The smallest pitch of out of all of them is Portland, and the biggest is Vancouver. So yeah, so I just don't see, guys. I just don't see us winning. It's gonna be cold up there. I perfect weekend for my yearly company meeting in Dallas. So probably I'm gonna be in some award ceremony, so I won't be able to watch the game. So perhaps that's a good sign. But the fact is if right now losing our first two games is the worst start to the season since 2011. Worst start of the season. But for those that don't know, we lost our very first game. It was away at Richmond. We lost that 2-0, and then we bounced back at home. So losing two games, worst start ever. And if we go to New York City and history repeats itself, that's 0 points out of 12. No, I'm sorry, out of nine. That is abysmal. That is abysmal. And if you're still supporting Oscar Pereja and blaming everyone in the universe, the refs, the Wilfs, Moreira, the players, I got news for you. This is indefensible. And we have said it here many times, and a lot of people have said, a lot of people talking heads have said it. Oscar Pareja is an incredible human being. Oscar Pareja was a great footballer. He was a great manager. But those things are in the past at the moment. Right now, 2026, February, March 2026. I can believe 2 months out of the year are already gone. March of 2026. He is not the man to take us to the promised land. I have said it before, and I'm gonna use the same biblical reference that my rabbi told me once. Some leaders are like Moses. They take the slaves and transform them into warriors in the desert. But somebody has to be Joshua and cross the Jordan into the promised land. And that man is not Oscar Pareja. That man is not Oscar Pareja. Our Joshua is out there aching, waiting for the phone to ring. So our boy Ricardo Moreira says, when can you jump in an airplane? That's basically what I want to hear. And Ricardo, listen, I know you're watching, and I know the people in the front office are watching because they always monitor what the podcasters are saying. I'm here to say it, Mark. I pray to God Almighty that you are listening to me tonight, and that you hear this. The fans are tired. We want to win. We want to win now, not 5 years from now, not 10 years from now. Now, now, now.
Yeah.
And right now's the time to do it because there are a handful of managers. I'd have to pull it up, but there are a handful of managers out there that we should easily be able to get.
We have a
That
couple more
would
comments. Sorry.
instantly be a step up from what we have now. And I always go back to it. Um, go back to it. A couple years ago when Columbus knocked us out, somebody asked me if I thought we would be further, um, if we would have been better with Wilfred Nancy, and I looked them straight in the eye and said, absolutely. I think Wilfred Nancy is miles ahead of the manager Poppy is.
John, if we walked into somebody's office anywhere in the world, any capable manager, and we said, "Hey, you're gonna have the opportunity to manage great players." Griezmann, the first one, at least the one that we know, and we're gonna pay you, and you throw a bunch of green U.S. dollars on a table. You don't think that people are gonna jump on the opportunity to do that? You don't think a manager is gonna be like, "Oh, I can move with my family to Orlando, Florida, and live there in a state with that is." No income state tax, soon no property tax. Where do I sign up? Where do I sign up to that? I'm here to talk because people are like, well, if it's not Poppy, who? Anyone that can win games. How about that? Michael Bradley, first time manager, playing teenagers, is has 6 points and is on top of the table, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone, a trained monkey, I don't care who it is. Bring me a manager that can win us games.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
somebody.
We have a couple more comments. Ray says, wins, wins. When will we get? Oh, where'd it go? Oh, when will we get our first point? And then Aiden on Instagram says, I'll be in New York for that NYCFC game.
Don't read the
Yeah, no, I know. I'll
idiots
pray for. I'll
that
pray
have no
for.
life. And I want to remain. Hey, Gabriel, guess what, buddy? I make more money than you, and I'm better looking than you. And you are so pathetic. You have to follow me to my podcast. Why don't you invest that time and get your own so you can talk all the crap you want?
And then he says, but I'll be rowdy, thick, and thin, showing the cold New Yorkers what true Floridian soccer support is. And then Aiden goes on to say, I agree with Luke. We always seem to be one of the better teams in the league on away days in the past few seasons. And he says, I pray for Wilfred Nancy. Yes,
We
sir.
all do.
That's all the comments we have.
Yeah, so I mean, we got the match Saturday, Saturday early kickoff this week, against New York that we kind of already talked about. So everybody's aware it's a 2:30 p.m. 2:30 p.m. kick. Really early match. Not sure what I'm doing with my Saturday night now.
Glad that game's not here at 2:30.
Watch other teams that win. You can do that.
We stink. I mean, like we were saying, we stink at playing on that small pitch. For some reason, we always try to go there and play, very direct, long ball, over the top soccer, and that's when it's a smaller pitch, you cannot do that. If it was a massive, maxed out pitch, sure, use your speed.
Ironic, right? We play direct football on a size of a pitch that's like
No, counterattack doesn't work in that mini pitch, man. I'm telling
it
you,
doesn't.
brother.
You got to move the ball
That's
around.
why. That's why you look at That's why they've got such fast style of play, such good first touch. Every single pass has to be so clean, and yeah. So
And we've shown this year that we can't
yeah,
connect 4 or 5 passes together.
yeah, on a bloody massive pitch.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, gents?
I was gonna ask, who do you guys think gets like the start Saturday? Like, you think Duncan starts, or do you
Shoot.
think he'll like start Tiago? Or
That's a great question. I think Tiago might start. I feel like he might be kind of a good fit for the mini pitch.
I think he might actually go with the start from the first match, as much as close of a lineup like that one, potentially. Who knows?
I mean, he's gonna have to. I don't know. We don't know what goes through this manager's mind anymore. I think he's gone mad. I think he's lost the plot. I don't even think he knows what he's thinking. So, um,
you guys think Poppy had Duncan playing so much defense yesterday, or was it like he was just like, I'm not getting service, I'm gonna try to do something else? He was playing a lot of defense.
yeah, sometimes a striker feels like he has to drop back so he can get into the game.
Well, it was almost like it was a tactical thing they were doing because you saw Ojeda
Yeah,
staying up higher, which I don't understand against Miami. Why you're not going to, if you're going to try to counter, why you're not going to use Duncan's speed,
Yeah.
unless he's that much better defensively than Ojeda, which I honestly don't think there's much of a difference between the two of them. And I'd rather see Ojeda back a little further to put that pass over the top than Duncan putting that pass over top, because that's the biggest, speed and their touch with the ball are the two biggest differences. And Duncan has the speed, and Ojeda has the touch with the ball.
yeah.
Another question. What do you guys think? I know it's only 2 games in. What do you guys think about Dorsey? Is this who he is, or is this Poppy Ball hasn't been instilled in him yet?
I actually think he's being held back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
I
feel
think
like there's so much more to him in his game.
yeah, I feel like he's very much being held back by Poppy right now, by Poppy's tactics. There's more in the attack to his game. Like, he's more of a wingback than he is a fullback, and he does push up the pitch a little bit, but because we're not in possession so much, he's having to play more defensive.
He looks so good, man. These 2 games.
I think it'll be interesting to see what they do about left back this next week if they keep Tahir in
We
there.
need dynamic play, guys. We need dynamic play. We modern problems need modern solutions, and we're not gonna have that with Oscar, unfortunately. And that's the reality behind all this. New York City is not having the best of seasons, but they are playing at home with their fans. It's gonna be cold weather, and say what you will. Has always been an issue for teams in the South. And the other thing is, the pitch is inconsistent. By the way, do we know if it's gonna be at City Field or at Yankee Stadium?
It's at Yankee Stadium because the football season, the baseball season hasn't.
It hasn't started. Okay,
Yeah,
great. Um, I don't know. I hope. Listen, tonight. I gotta tell you this: following a football club, okay, is ups and downs. Glory hunters always gravitate towards winning. That's why they will never understand what I'm about to say. There's you gotta be there in the good and in the bad, and more so in the bad. Okay, the to leave behind what happened this past Saturday, it's water under the bridge. That series is tied. Nobody is nobody's daddy or whatever these idiots that were trying to get a rouse out of me. The fact of the matter is, we lost the game fair and square. Okay, done. What we have to do is concentrate on what the game that we have to play, because football is not played on. You guys know it's not played on paper; it's played on grass, or a baseball field in this case. So we have to go and try to make the best out of it. And if we lose, I want a reaction from the club that 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 translates and channels the frustration that the fan base is feeling. Be- because we have sat here. I was one of those that in 2011 bought into the vision of taking a third division team that nobody had ever heard of into the MLS. I bought into that vision. I follow it through. Here I am. What is that? 12, 13 years later. The problem, my friends, is that we are stuck in a rut, and we have to find a way to get to a place where we can play dynamic, fun football. It's simple as that. And I hope that the team can react to that. If you don't, what's gonna happen is we're gonna finish at the bottom of the table,
Just
and
wait.
we're not gonna make playoffs. Well, we didn't make playoffs last year, but whatever. I don't care what MLS says. We need to make playoffs, and we need to be fun to watch. We are not fun to watch. We counter, we score goals, we park the bus, and tragedies like what happened Saturday happen. So to me, if you love Orlando City and you love winning, I know I do. Um, the fact of the matter is that we have to show what we can do, and that is not what we've done in the last two games. Football is cyclical. There's good and bad seasons. That's always going to happen. And as a fan, you buy a ticket, and that ticket is it's like a lottery ticket. It's a promise that this year we're going to do it, and it may or may not happen. So if it's not in the cards, we're going to find out, obviously. But continue to support the club because that's exactly what we need. But at the same time, and I know they're watching us at the front office, you have to do right by the investors because at the end of the day, guys, if the pandemic taught us anything, is that without fans, it's only 22 men kicking a ball, and the fans, thank you, the fans are the ones that fund everything. You remove the money from the fans, everything collapses. So that's my message tonight, for the club and for the fans. You know, I have lived to see my team lift trophies. I have seen my team dominate, and I have seen my team eat crap. We always say it. Okay, excuse me. And we always say that if you haven't cried for joy or anger over football, have you really football? And that's part of it. So I follow a club, I follow a badge, I follow the colors, I follow the institution. I don't follow a man, and that's at the end of the day, that's the reality. That's the reality. Players come and go, managers come and go, the supporter remains. And unfortunately, some people can't understand that because they have never lived football. They have never built anything. They have never bought into a vision. So I am talking to you, Orlando City fans, to Orlando City Nation. I'm talking to you to remind you that if it was easy, anyone will do it. If it was easy, everyone will do it. But it's hard. The way to the top is a lonely one. Everyone loves a champion. Everybody loves winning. But what happens when that ends? It's a lonely place. Some people that were dead last in attendance, 12,000 to be exact, that never made playoffs, are on a hot streak right now. Good for them. Good for them. That's what football is all about. But at the same time, I want to see if those same fans will stick around when the wheel turns around. They're going to abandon whatever it is because they're not there. They're not there for the badge. They're not there for the colors. We are. So I want you to look at yourself tonight and say, am I a glory hunter or am I a fan of the greatest club in Florida? And that's Orlando City. I believe that. I hope you believe that. And at the end of the day, we have a culture that we have cultivated, that we have built. Other people, all they have is a facade, marketing, and and the illusion of winning. Thank you.
It's like, yes, to add on to what you're saying, David, yesterday, my son, my 4-year-old son, um, asked me, why are people Miami fans? Because he doesn't understand. And I straight up told him, I said, Barrett, if it wasn't for one man joining that team, Miami wouldn't even be a club right now. They were perennial losers. They perennially cheated. Facts back that up. They continue to cheat. They only get attendance because of one man being there. If they didn't, nobody in Miami or Fort Lauderdale. I mean, Luke lives in that area now, going to school. Does anybody talk about Miami? The team down their team, the team down there?
No, not really.
No, nobody knows that place exists.
My one of my mates there, who I'm close to him. He was like a school partner. I hung out with him all the time. He's got like a Messi poster, like Messi Miami poster in there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm only supporting them because of Messi." He's like, I mean, he's a massive Messi fan, and I'm like, "That's fair enough." I said because that's 95% of like Inter Miami fans.
Yep.
95.
You look at what kits they wear. They only wear one man's kit. You don't see any with a blank name on the back. You don't see any with any of their academy kids on the back. You don't see any other players they brought back. It's always one man that's on there. And, people that don't understand, which is most of Miami fans, don't understand that my son was brought to tears last night. Most of them don't understand my son woke up angry this morning. Most he's getting to the age where you ask him what he wants to do, and most kids say, "Oh, I want to be a firefighter. Oh, I want to be this." He wants to be an Orlando City soccer player. And I asked him, I said, "You don't want to play for any other teams?" Because he knows teams in Europe exist. He knows some of the names of those teams, that I follow. He says, "No, I just want to play for Orlando City, and what? How do you say it? I want to win. I want to be a champion." There is what he said. That's what it means. And I know my son's not the only one. I know we're seeing it with Zachariah Taifi and Tahir Reed Brown and Colin. I mean, Colin Gusky, his brothers. I think it was two of his brothers made it to Orlando City B. So we're seeing that come through now. What's Miami have? A bunch of overpaid babies that are off-putting, trying to prolong their careers, taking up spaces. There's a reason Miami's academy is going straight down the drain. That's because all of their players are leaving because they know they have no shot with the current regime that's in there running the team. So we're building something. Our friend, and I can't recall his name, David, that went to the preseason match with me last year from
Stu from Bradford City.
yes, he would not stop talking about how our academy's doing and how we're building something and how we need to hold our heads high. So while, on this Monday we're licking our wounds, look at what we have to look forward to. We have a player in Caraballo that is 17 now that is already getting called, probably next World Cup cycle will be getting called to the Venezuelan senior national team. We have Colin Gusky, we have Tahir Reed Brown. They're continually getting called to the U19s and U23 national teams. We have Archange, who's a Canadian national, getting called up to
That is coming back from injury.
coming back from injury. And I know I'm missing guys. This is just off the top of my head. This is no disrespect to them. You look at when international windows come up and the amount of guys we have from our academy and senior team, but mainly, we're talking about academy right now, that are getting called up to their youth national teams really says something. You take a look at the rankings that come out on a weekly basis and where Orlando City academies are in the U19s, U16s, and on where we're ranked, right at the top. I think the lowest ranking I saw, U17s we weren't ranked, but U19s we were ranked number 1. U16s I think it was like number 3 or U7. We missed one, and then but our academy's right there up top with with every other academy in the country, and we proved last year at the Big Adidas tournament that we belong on a bigger stage than just the national stage. That we can beat international academies.
Yeah, it was the GA Cup, John.
Yeah, Georgia Cup. Thank you. I couldn't remember if it was a Generation Next or
Yeah,
Georgia
no,
Cup.
it's Generation Adidas.
It is Generation Adidas.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, we went over to Europe over the off season and played in a futsal competition, and our academy players did amazing there. So the club itself is building. The senior team is just a shadow of what it should be. And once the reins are taken off what Ricardo can do, which is only going to be, which the only ones holding the reins right now are the owners that are keeping him held back. If he's given, do the nod, do what you have to do to get this team to win. I do believe Ricardo wants to do it. I just really feel like that the owners are holding him back, and it's time for them to either put the money up or sell the team, because this cannot continue. This downfall cannot continue. And before you know it, we're going to be Montreal 2.0 at the senior level.
Let's hope not, John. I hope that tonight there's a pouring miracle happening at the Wilf household, and that they find in deep in their heart that the question that has been asked, and we know the answer. I always wanted to be a lion, no doubt in my mind. So listen, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get through this together, like we always done. I want to thank the 51 people that watched us tonight, guys. Final words.
Shout outs to the Miami fans that tuned in tonight. A couple of them made some comments. Thank you for tuning in. Just want to throw that out there.
My final thoughts going to go out to Mark Wilf. Look what's happened to the people before you that were mega millionaires that built a dynasty. The majority of them, their children, blew all that money. Money's the one thing you can't take to the grave. The only thing you have when you die is your left on earth is your legacy. And right now in this city, your legacy is not good.
In Minnesota either.
I mean, Minnesota, that's the Midwest, though, and a completely different sport.
Luke.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I've got nothing. Shocking, right? I've got nothing. Yeah, I'm done for tonight. That's it.
All right, Prince of Egypt, take us home.
we could use some magic right now. All right, so we're gonna leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel, as this season is proving, and unpredictable. That football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have you really ever footballed? For the whole crew, David, John, Misael, Luke, and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!